The following is a presentation of the Harding Sports Network.
We are Harding Sports Network. We are Bisons.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Harding Football with Paul Simmons. The Bisons went on the road on Saturday night, and Coach, life on the road is always tough. 32-31, Southeastern Oklahoma State wins it. A thriller, a two-point conversion there with 46 seconds left after they scored the touchdown to get to within 1 point. But, boy, just a back-and-forth football game, and everybody that bought a ticket to that one got their money's worth on Saturday night.
Yeah, I tell you what, it was a tough night for us, and, you know, I've had some old coaches say to me, if you coach long enough, you're going to have one of those kind of nights. And, you know, that's really what it felt like. You know, so many plays in the game, you know, could have changed the game. And, you know, really hats off to those guys. I mean, they came out, they played really hard. The quarterback, I felt like, kind of had the night of his life. But the bottom line is we just had way too many chances to put the game away, and we didn't do it. We didn't make plays when we had to do it. I was really proud of the way the guys battled. I was proud of the way, you know, we got in a big hole. We fought all the way back. You know, the late scores by the offense really showed a lot of grit and determination. I'm really proud of that. But just overall, we didn't make enough plays to get it done against a good team on the road.
You told me after the game, you said a loss like that obviously is one that you learn a lot from as a team as you go forward because of so many swings in the football game. We saw Southeastern Oklahoma State at 1 point score 17 straight points after Harding had taken a 3-0 lead, and then your team comes back late after they were down and scores 21 straight. I mean, it was an up and down roller coaster mood swing kind of game.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And, you know, we talk a lot about how fun it is to be in that kind of a game. Obviously, it's more fun when you win. But, you know, our guys really embraced the battle and you know, love being out there. And, you know, without a doubt, we're going to grow and get better from that because – you know, you have to strain. You know, when it's late and you got to make a play, you know, you learn and you grow, and we will be better because of that game, even though we got beat.
So we will come back and we will look at first quarter and second quarter highlights of the football game last Saturday night in Durant right after this.
Touch a guy, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks. You can be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself. Standing in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls in the Hall of Fame. Be a champion. Teachers, be politicians, be preachers, yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. Standing in the Hall of Fame.
Back on this week's edition of Harding Football with Paul Simmons, we get ready to look at first quarter highlights in Durant, Oklahoma. Second week in a row that the Bisons would play to start a very hot night. Coach, the air temperature was 92 degrees when we started the football game, and I know that your team is very conditioned and ready to go. And we saw the Southeastern Oklahoma State offense on the field to begin this first quarter.
You know, we got a few stops early.
Yeah, Southeastern Oklahoma State would get one first down just on this series. We saw a lot of C.J. Shavers right there, and also, you knew Dalton Hadley had a big game the week before against Arkansas Tech. The quarterback for Southeastern Oklahoma State forced an incompletion there on third down to get the football back right here for the first time.
Yeah, the defense started out playing pretty well early. You know, they rushed for 90 yards on the game, but you know, we're so used to just stoning the run game, it felt like they rushed for 200 yards. little stumble right there by Cole, or he would have gone to the house on that. You know, he was a warrior like always.
Yeah, that was the first play from scrimmage, 40 yards, and very alertly getting back on top of it right here.
You know, early in the game, just like that play right there, we come out and we're dominating, and then we drop the pitch. Just the little miscues. You know, they really never stopped us. It was all about us stopping ourselves, just doing little things the wrong way in the execution. And you saw in the second half, you know, when our offense executes, it really is almost impossible to stop if we don't stop ourselves. And that's what's so frustrating about it is we know that, you know, most of the things that went wrong were self-inflicted.
Get the field goal, the 51-yard field goal, longest field goal since Eddie Carmona's field goal of 62 yards 10 years ago.
Yeah, really, really proud of Grant. That was a huge kick in a big ball game, and you know, his confidence definitely is on the rise. Really proud of him.
I told Scott during the game right here, Corey Beatty obviously had a lot of blue jerseys around him. He's really wanting to return a punt. I didn't call a fair catch right there, but secured the football, and you know he's wanting to make something happen.
He is trying to find a little bit of grass. He's wanting to make a play, and he's such a winner. Really proud of him, but he handled the kicks well all night.
Sinclair with a carry right there.
You know, Omar's a guy that he gets better and better every week. The more comfortable he gets in doing the detailed things the right way, really a talented young man that's got a great future for us. Their defense was talented. They played fast. They dared us to throw the football, and we did. We had guys wide open deep a few times, and just couldn't get it done. Another one of the things that is just really frustrating about the night for all of us.
That was a 6-play drive. Now Southeastern Oklahoma State with a drive back right here, and this is their first scoring drive.
Yeah, they ended up scoring on a reverse pass, and just kind of had some crazy stuff going on, and we got our eyes wrong and let a guy get behind us a little bit.
Here's that play you're talking about right here. Kincaid to Perini.
I thought that was a hold on our DN, but we didn't get a lot of calls. But it doesn't matter. You know, you got to make a play. You got to figure out a way.
That was 39 yards. The extra point makes it 7-3 at this point. Now the Bison's getting ready to get the football back. We're still in the first quarter of play, getting later in the evening hours. Was as far as we talked about the heat, Coach, how tough was it on Friday night?
You know, honestly, I did not think it was near as bad as our first ball game. There was low humidity, and we did have a couple of guys that had cramp issues, but that didn't affect the outcome of the game. Now I think this coming game is going to be, you know, the same temperature but humid, so it's going to be a challenge for us with the heat.
Cameron Scott with a 57-yard punt right here. Cameron Scott, 4 punts, averaged 43 yards per punt on Saturday night.
Yeah, he hit that one big, a little bit too big. I would love to see that ball, end up on the 10-yard line instead of going in the end zone, but, he kicked it really well.
Move into the second quarter, 7-3 score, Southeastern Oklahoma State leading.
And I think one of the big keys to the game is, their quarterback we allowed him to get too comfortable. We generally do a great job, making good quarterbacks uncomfortable, but he was able to be too comfortable. This was a blown assignment right here. I don't want to call anybody out, but we didn't execute right there. That should have been a tackle for loss. But sometimes guys try to make plays, and when they do it, they lose their discipline. And that was a situation where we had a guy that's one of our great players that just tried to make a play, but wasn't disciplined in doing that. And you hate to see that. Thought Preston battled. Thought Preston played really well. Such a great competitor and leader.
Yeah, that was a big play that put you in field goal range, and a 41-yard attempt right here was just wide right.
Yeah, he hit it well. I mean, it's kind of like the miss last week. He kicked the ball straight. He just just barely missed it. Good play call. They called a good situation there. That was a good play call for them.
Southeastern Oklahoma right here with a 14-3 lead.
I thought they did a good job picking up pressure, picking up blitzes. We would love to be able to hit the quarterback a lot more times than we did. Even right there, he just kind of got us froze with the play action, and we didn't get to him. Number 6 was really talented, big long target, and
Deuce Pittman.
Yeah, when you have a guy that's 6'4" and a quarterback that's really accurate, that's a challenge.
Coach, I thought this was a big spot there in the first half. You stop that drive, you give up 3 instead of 7, and they get a couple of big runs here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Big run by Taylor. I promise you, Taylor, he plays faster on Saturdays than he probably would time a 40 in. Taylor, if you're listening, that's a compliment. He had a really good game. He was the guy that we chose as our player of the game.
Omar St. Clair with a touchdown run right here. He would wind up with 2 touchdown runs in the game. You mentioned Taylor Bissell, 5 carries, 100 yards there on the evening.
To average 20 yards of carries, we can win with that for sure.
So, and I made the mention on the broadcast when the teams were going to the locker room, I felt that both teams probably had good feelings for different reasons. As far as for the Bisons, the last 5 minutes there, I thought that with that turn there to get to within 7 points after everything that had gone on there in the first half, had to feel pretty good at half to be within striking distance right there, just down 7 and getting the football to begin the third quarter.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, the way that half went, to go in there just down 1 possession and getting the ball back, we certainly expected at that point. How many times do you see the Bisons tied or close at halftime, and in the second half, it just always seems to belong to the Bisons because of coaching adjustments, but also because of the character of our guys. And so we definitely expected to come out and win the second half.
So we will come back and we will look at the second half highlights. Bisons at the half down 7 in Durant, Oklahoma. We'll look at the third quarter coming up right after this.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome back to Harding Football with Paul Simmons. Bisons trailing at the half by 7 as we get ready to look at third quarter highlights. And field position, how important was that in the football game? You had a long field, it felt like all night long. And you'll start this series coming up deep in your own territory. But Coach, I know you felt good to have it right here, but I felt this was a key possession for both teams.
Yeah, we really did have a lot of long fields, but it is really uncharacteristic for us to come out in the second half and have a 3 and out. We had back-to-back 3 and outs. That's not how we normally do things, and so they did some good things and got some stops. And like you said, they're getting the ball on a 40-yard line, and that's not what we would choose to be.
This is on second down and 10.
Yeah, that's poor tackling. That's just, there's no other way to say it. That's poor tackling, and we've got to get better. We got to get better at every spot on our football team, and we expect to. Nobody is satisfied with the way they played or coached, and we'll respond, I promise.
So now Southeastern Oklahoma State deep in Bison territory here, and this is 3rd down and goal.
Yeah, they just found a way outside that blitzer. Our force guy was a little bit too patient, and they figured out a way to get it in.
That was Wheeler's 2nd rushing touchdown of the evening. Bison's now trail 24-10. Omar Sinclair stopped right there. Brings up 3rd down and long and able to complete the pass to City.
Good throw and catch to Cage City. Cage is such an awesome Bison and warrior. We just needed a few more yards on that play right there.
Yeah, that was 3rd and 14. Got to within 4th down and 3 and had to punt the football. And now Southeastern Oklahoma starting this drive.
Back to Cage, probably not many guys in our program have ever improved themselves as much as he has, and just a special kid. I'm really, really proud of him. There's another example of just a throw and catch that was so well executed. I mean, several times I'm on the headsets with Coach Tribble, and who's coaches the secondary, of course, and I'm going, Coach, your guys were in a great spot. That was just a great throw and catch.
Forced a punt here after getting Southeastern in a 3rd down and 25, and then they were in 4th and long and punt the football. So very important to force the punt down 14. Now you feel like this is a big drive to get it back and get something going.
Yeah, no doubt.
Get it started with Omar Sinclair.
Right here we're just doing the things that we do. We're just running the triple. Right back to just being who we are. Very well executed. Great job by Preston. Great job blocking. The O-line was really, really good in the second half. Great job by Taylor getting the ball in the end zone. We felt like, we were getting some momentum right here, and we were.
Yeah, Taylor Bissell, a 59-yard touchdown run right there. The Bisons to within 7 now, 24-17.
Big tackle for loss by Dre Hall. He's a redshirt freshman that's got a great future for us. He played well. He's one of the guys that played well. This is his second game playing, and he definitely made some strides. Big stop for us there on 3rd down and got off the field, which we didn't do enough. But we we were really good on 3rd down. Our problem down was 2nd and long. We got them in 2nd and long so many times, and they made big plays. I mean, we give them a 2nd and 12, and they throw it for 13. We got them in 2nd and 25, and 2nd down and long is the play that really killed us.
Here's another big run from Preston Payton. And, Coach, that was on 3rd down, 3rd and 4.
Big play. I'm really proud of the way Preston has been leading. He just shows a lot of toughness, a lot of grit. Really has a warrior spirit about him. I'm really proud of Preston.
Move into the 4th quarter. It's the 2nd down and 12, and here's Preston Payton again.
Well, that spin move, I don't know where that came from, but that was something really good. Great job by Rowland right there. Had a chance to block a guy in the back and held off. Receivers blocked well, like they always do. Tough running by Omar. Really proud of that. And there's the old man just pounding away.
You're going to give it to him another time right here in Cole Chansey with this touchdown. More rushing touchdowns than anyone in Bison history. He was tied with Park Parrish going into this football game and broke that mark with that rushing touchdown.
Tell you what, when you talk about Park Parrish and Cole Chansey, now that right there, that is 2 special warriors.
Ennis adds the extra point. Brand new game, 24-24 right here.
Yeah, no doubt. I believe with all my heart at this point that we're going to win this ball game. I believe if we were in it again, we'd win it. Just such a frustrating night.
You wind up on this drive forcing a 3rd down and 21. And you're going to get the football here in the best field position of the evening so far. We were talking about field position earlier, and your football team would take advantage of the good field position.
Yeah, it's really rare for us to never have a possession that starts on our side of the field. But yeah, that was a better spot then, and our guys responded. I really thought that our offense, the later the game went, the better they got. I thought they wore them down. I thought they showed a lot of toughness. Really, really proud of the late drives. just couldn't get a stop in the end.
There was, when you got into that fourth quarter, the intensity on both sidelines, and to see your football team competing hard. This is a third down play right here that we were able to convert on, and now second down.
Yeah, that was a huge play. I had already made a decision about what we were going to do if we didn't get it, but he made it easier for me.
And there were several third and shorts that you were able to convert on and get into big situations here late.
Well, what a great run. What a great run. What a great play call. Really, really good. You know, when we were down here, you know, I'm looking at the clock, and you know, obviously, if we could have figured out a way to keep that clock running longer, but you know, you just score when you can score.
Yeah, the Omar Sinclair touchdown, and Southeastern Oklahoma State starting deep in their territory after a penalty at their own 9-yard line.
Yeah, you know, you have to get a stop. We have to get a stop in this situation. We got to bow up. Somebody's got to make a play, and we just didn't get it done. We didn't have that one play show up. You know, again, right there, you know, we get him off his spot. We can't get him on the ground.
This is third down.
A lot of the throws were happened fast. Obviously, the targeting penalties were that was 3rd and 10. It would have been 4th and 10. You know, I felt like that was a really questionable call, but you know, these days it's really going to err on the player safety side, and I understand that.
So 15 yards and a first down. Now they're deep in Bison territory, and this sets up what will be first down and goal.
Yeah, that was a great play.
It was.
A great play right there. It gave us another chance. You know, Lionel Masivi is a new corner for us that's getting better and gaining some confidence. You know, pleased with him. The D-line bowed up right down here, and you know, did some good things. You know, we get him in 4th and 5 down here, and
yeah, 4th and goal play coming up right here.
Yeah, just so frustrating.
Diving catch there in the end zone.
Again, it was good coverage, and they got it in there. You know, this overtime play right here, I should have called timeout. You know, this was kind of a trick play where they get the tackle eligible. They made a big shift, and should have called timeout, didn't do it. You know, I'll take full credit for that. And you know, obviously, no offenses are good when you've got to go 90 yards in 50 seconds, but had their ears pinned back, and we were just in a tough situation.
Yeah, and only one timeout, had to use it right there with the sack, and Southeastern Oklahoma State bringing some pressure to get another sack, so you've got to hurry to the line of scrimmage right here as time's obviously running down.
Yeah, we're not, you know, we're not built to be in that kind of a spot, and we shouldn't have been in that kind of spot. It's on us for being there, and we just got to make more plays and make more good play calls, and we all got to get better.
That was the 4th down play with the football being knocked down, and then Southeastern Oklahoma State able to run out the clock. They win 32-31, and when you look back at some of the numbers, I thought the penalties, only 3 penalties. Again, we talked about only 2 last week, and one of those was you took the delay of game before a punt.
Right.
So really just 1 penalty last week on opening night. Just 3 penalties, but 2 of those were critical and crucial with the targeting penalties.
Yeah, the targeting penalties were huge because of moving the ball, but more importantly of losing those guys. You know, but there were a lot of good things. I mean, for the second week in a row, the offense, you know, didn't have any penalties against the offense, didn't turn the ball over, and you know, quite frankly, if you would have told me that we had no turnovers and lost that ball game, I would be very surprised, and I am surprised. You know, we had a great week of practice. We had a great trip. Thought the guys were ready to play. We just didn't make plays. And, you know, sometimes it's about matchups, and we just didn't match up very well, our defense versus our offense. But very frustrating.
When you talk about the quarterback, Hadley, how tough was it? Obviously, the offensive line, how much credit do you give to the Southeastern Oklahoma State offensive line preventing you to be able to put any pressure on him?
Well, I give a lot of credit to all of them. I give a lot of credit to the coach and his kids, and they showed up and they didn't back down, and I thought they had a good plan on both sides of the ball, and they executed it well. We got pressure, but we never could get to him, and that's what the O-line's goal is just keep the quarterback on his feet, and they did a good job of that.
There were some big rushes in the football game. When I talked about Taylor Bissell, 106 yards, Chancey 95 yards, and Preston Payton 88 yards. But Bissell had a run of 59, Chancey had a run of 40, Payton had a run of 35, and Omar Sinclair had a run of 36 in the football game.
Yeah, we scored 31 points, but everybody on that side of the ball knows that if we execute, we never would have got stopped, and that is the frustrating part. If you get beat, you want to get beat by 40 by a team that's way out of your league instead of getting beat by 1 point in a game where you can replay 40 plays in your mind and know that any of them would have changed the outcome. That makes it hard to sleep at night, I can promise you. And I have not slept much at all the last 2 nights, just replaying all the things that could have been different.
Bisons will hit the road this week. They'll be at Southern Arkansas. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show, but right now we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will see a piece produced by Haley Kate Webb with the Harding University football team wide receivers right after this.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to this week's edition of Harding Football with Paul Simmons. And I talked about it before we went to the last break. It's time to check in with Haley Kate Webb. She produced this piece with the Harding receivers.
Detailed, relentless,
Dysfunctional.
dog, just dog, goofy, monsters.
I'd probably say that the receiver group's just a bunch of snag daddies.
Boneless, just more meat.
We're going bone in for sure.
Bone in, for sure.
Bone in.
Probably bone in. Go bone in. Bone in for sure. Bone in.
Bone in, for sure.
Oh, bone in, most definitely.
I'm not much of a karaoke person. Chasing that neon rainbow, Alan Jackson.
Perfect by Ed Sheeran.
Back in Black, AC/DC.
Follow You to Virgie, Tyler Childers.
I'm gonna go with I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. For the people listening, I will not be singing that right now.
Make You Feel My Love by Adele. You know that's just for the shower. That's just for the shower.
Die Young by Kesha, no doubt. I'm not gonna sing it. That's saved. I need the whole soundtrack, the whole audio behind it. But Sunday Morning by Maroon 5. The lighting's not right.
I will follow you to Virgie.
It's like, Daddy want a radio, you took me to a country show. I don't do TikTok dances. No. I'm not a TikToker. I don't want my stuff getting hacked by China.
That's it.
I don't know. I'm kind of too old. I aged out of TikTok. But I don't know. I can't tell you J. Carroll can't do any of them.
There's that one where they go or whatever. The sneeze. Just.
Coach Brady, easy. Coach Brady.
Coach Bray, because I know he'd miss.
Coach Brady.
Definitely Coach Brady.
I'd probably take Coach Brady because he thinks he's kind of nice with it, so I'd take him. Coach Big. Coach Big.
I'm challenging Coach Big because he's trash, and I'm winning that one.
I can see Jake getting on there doing like knocking somebody out if there's like a safety coming down and then he just kind of cleans them or something. I can see him being on the Sports Center top 10. Me. James Townsend, that man can do it all. I'd probably say James. I want to see him hurdle somebody.
I'm gonna have to go with James. He's got the hops.
Come on, man. That's Cage City.
Probably Joel. Jake Harrell.
Jake Harrell.
Jake Harrell. Michelle. Jake Harrell.
Oh, Jake Harrell, most definitely.
Like, we talking like flow? Besides me, probably Jake Manning. Jake's got the best one right now. I'm about to go with Jake Manning. Jake Manning, for sure.
Jake Manning.
Jake Manning, without a doubt. Jake Manning.
I mean, I don't want to be this guy, but I've put the most time and effort into it, so probably me.
Let me turn my hat forwards for this one.
I don't want to throw it, you know, I don't want to throw myself under the bus here. I don't know if I can do that to myself. I'm still trying to get some playing time. A little too early for that.
In the mouth. Let's go, bunch of Boston War daddies. In the mouth.
I said, son, told you it was cold.
Boys, now it's bad important.
I got on 3. 1, 2, 3. I got.
The receivers, I tell you what, those guys work so hard, Coach Simmons, and do such a great job for this football program, this football team. That's a hard-working bunch of guys. Good to see them have some fun. Haley Kate Webb produced that piece. Just talk about that unit.
Oh, they're awesome. And for the record, Haley Kate, that's my favorite piece we've ever done. I love that. But you know, just the character, the attitude of selflessness that it takes to be a receiver here. We threw the football a lot Saturday, 6 times, which is a lot for us. So, you know, you've got to be a special, special guy that loves your teammates and is willing to sacrifice. And every guy in that group fits that mold. I mean, it is an awesome, awesome bunch of young men that I'd take to war every day of the week. I mean, I love those guys so much.
So the Bisons will look this week to put last week's loss behind them. We'll talk about that coming up, along with this week's opponent, Southern Arkansas, right after this.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Bison's back on the road this week, just like last week. But Coach Simmons, what will the week be like? Because putting a tough loss behind you like Southeastern Oklahoma State this past Saturday, how do you go about that going into this week?
Well, you know, we as far as putting that game to bed, you know, that happened last night and we moved on. But, you know, we love to win and we expect to win and we want to win. But, you know, there is tremendous value from adversity, and there really are conversations that are easier to have that really matter after you lose. And I just want people to know that you know, these are special young men. We had a powerful time together, and we discussed the game, but then we started talking about things that matter a whole lot more. We talked about confession, talked about confessing sins to one another. We talked about forgiveness. We talked about the value of being able to, for a grown man to tell another grown man how much they love them. And it was an awesome time together. My guys know that I value the way they work, love, practice, compete, do everything when things are good. But they also know that where they stand in these kind of moments, when you lose a game that broke your heart, that's what really matters, right? I'm going to remember them, and they're going to remember me based on what I did, what I said, how I worked, how I loved when things go wrong. And we don't want to lose, but I'm telling you, when you lose, now you really have a chance to grow, to love better, to hold on to the rope, and to really, you know, figure out who's all the way in. And I'm telling you, we have got a ton of all the way in coaches and players, and, you know, I take a great amount of pride in the way we have always responded to adversity. And I can already tell you that tomorrow's practice will be the best practice of the year, because it's so important, and our guys know how important it is that they make a statement about where they stand when things are tough. So don't worry about us. We'll be back.
And now a good football team once again on the road. Southern Arkansas 2-0. Play them on Saturday night. Kind of preview that one for us.
Yeah, no doubt. It does not get any easier for us. SAU has always been a tough place to play. They're 2-0. We've got a lot of momentum. I know we'll have a big crowd. It's going to be another hot night. We've got some adversity for sure, but we are excited about getting on the bus, going down there, and competing. You know, again, it's about matchups. This is a very different matchup. I like the matchup, but we're going to have to come out and play our best game if we want to get back on track, and we expect to get back on track.
All right, Coach, always appreciate your time. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Billy.
That's all for this week's edition of Harding Football with Paul Simmons. Don't forget, we'll have radio coverage on KVHU 95.3 for the Southern Arkansas game on Saturday night, 6 o'clock kickoff down in Magnolia. We'll see you next time.